remaining in a meditative state, please listen to this week's affirmation for self-healing. Discrimination. As science judges the relative speed of any object by one constant, the speed of light, so the devotee judges the relevant merit of any idea by the one constant, God. Discrimination is clear only when it relates everything to the eternal absolute. Thus, while the intelligence may toy with ideas endlessly, discrimination asks, is this wisdom? Is it of God? True discrimination is not even the product of reasoning. It is soul intuition. Reasoning, even from the highest point of reference, is uncertain compared to the inspirations of superconsciousness. To discriminate clearly, meditate first. Ask God to guide your understanding. Please repeat after me in a loud voice, awakening the conscious mind. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. And now in a conversational tone. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. And now we'll repeat the affirmation in a whisper, bringing it into the subconscious mind. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. And now silently. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. And now with deep concentration at the point between the eyebrows, the point of superconscious awareness, again, silently repeat the affirmation. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. Guide me, Lord, that in all things I know thy will, for I know that only by thy will are all things led to perfection.
From Rays of the One Light.
We need the microphone.
Thank you. This is a reading of Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and Bhagavad Gita. Week 28, Self-Reliance versus self-reliance. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. Last week, we considered the need for attunement with God, with the gurus, with the wisdom of others, until we make that wisdom our own. There is a strong and, in fact, valid belief nowadays in the need for standing on one's own feet, rather than depending weakly on others to carry us by their strength. Swami Kriyananda was once asked, "What is the best yoga posture?" "That one," he replied, "which sets you squarely on your own 2 feet." Our strength must come from within. If that strength comes from the ego, however, instead of from soul consciousness, it is like a guitar string without its sounding board. The notes it emits will be thin and feeble. Our strength must come from within, but must be coupled with recognition of our inner link with broader and higher realities. The Bhagavad Gita says in the 10th chapter, "Everyone in this world whose life is glorious or prosperous or powerful, know that his achievement is but a little spark from the great sun of my effulgence." Jesus, in talking to his disciples, emphasized also the power of attunement with his own consciousness as the ray of the divine. For this ray had descended already through him in response to their devotion. It was a sign that God was already listening to them with receptive attention and did not require to be wooed in that way any longer. In the passage preceding the one that we read last week, Jesus said, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me." This was the meaning of Paramhansa Yogananda's counsel also, when speaking more intimately to the disciple of the need for attunement with him. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Oh.
Welcome, everyone, this beautiful sunny Sunday. It's a big day here in Wickford, yes? Have you all gone to the Arts Festival? You were there yesterday, yeah? I'm going to be playing from 2 to 4 on a trail. The way to the strawberry shortcake, I think. So the topic today is soul reliance versus soul reliance, capital S versus S. And it's an interesting one because it's like you have to have the balance of it. Yes, we have to be self-sufficient. Like Swami said, the best yoga posture is being able to stand on your own 2 feet. And I came out of the era, and maybe we're going back into that era of back to the land, being self-sufficient, and I used to can all my vegetables, my fruit, and, could do it all kind of thing. And, then it's like, yes, that's true. We have to have that kind of energy to put out, to make it in this world. We can't just sit by passively. And we also have to realize, where does it come from? And sometimes it becomes very obvious, like, there's a funny story of, excuse me, I'm going to start with the Whispers reading. And do we actually have a book? I can read it from my computer. Thank you. This is number 147. My glasses, there we are. Thank you all for your patience with all the discombobulation today. I think it's in the air. It's just there's astrological or whatever waves of chaos. Okay, 147. Demand not to be enslaved by the ego or by ego-centered passivity. I want to use my own will, but guide it ever, Father, toward the golden paradise of all fulfillment. For I would be infinity's smiling child, confident of being imprisoned no longer behind bars of fruitless desire and withered hopes. I would break the shameful cords of lethargy that have presumed to hold me and step fearlessly into freedom. Released, I now blaze my way through forests of every limitation and delusion. Oh, my little vain ego may strut proudly, saying, "Behold my glory, worship me." But I will look through its transparent form and behold thine unimaginable beauty, clothed in the subtle form of the whole universe. The silence-tuned hearing of my soul will ignore that tiny boasting masquerader, my little self impersonating thee, and will listen rapturously to the wind-born, fragrant music of thine own matchless voice, whispering across the ages, I am he. Yeah, his poetry just always astounds me. So that's the thing, is when the ego can get in the way. So we have to always offer it up, offer everything we do, our service, our joys, our sadnesses, and try to attune to that higher consciousness in whatever we do, so that we know that we're just a receiving channel. And the masters and that higher consciousness, all the great guides that we have, use us to still stay on this, to keep their energy still alive. You know, I read something, someone pointed out that if Yogananda hadn't been a great master, you know, he might have been a great writer and found fame that way, but it took his disciples to recognize the great master that he was, and also to attune themselves to his consciousness and vibrations to become also channels. So the masters are kept alive by their students, by their disciples. It's very beautiful. So the more we can aspire to be like the great ones, the better, obviously, yes. Okay. So I want to read kind of a funny story. I'll read it in Swami Kriyananda's words here. It's from a yoga conference in 1995. I remember I gave a lecture years ago. Yogananda said, "Talk when you feel God is talking through you." So halfway through this lecture, there were 100 or so people there. Halfway through this lecture, I thought, well, if God is the doer, maybe I should step aside and let him do it. I stood there for 2 minutes. That's 5 seconds. It's a long time. I stood there for 2 minutes and didn't say a word, waiting for God to talk. He didn't say a word either. A friend of mine was there in the audience, and he was perspiring because he thought I had frozen from fear, but not. I was just calmly waiting for God to say something. The truth is, we have to put the energy into motion, and this is a teaching Yogananda gave to clarify these two opposite teachings. One, that God does it all, and the other, we have to do it all. We have to do it. It's our own, but God-given power. We have to draw on that and always remember that that's where it's coming from. As soon as we stop it, we find as soon as people, no matter how great they are in this world, if begin to feel proud of themselves, that shuts the door. So balancing that self, capital S, and small self is really one of the dances we have to do in life. And the way that we can do that is, not interestingly, it's all chosen, the reading on discrimination today for the affirmation, and intuition. And these are all linked together. First step, we have to make that kind of personal God contact, connecting to that energy, however we perceive it, however it comes to us. And through here, and all of us who come here regularly, that is in the form of these great masters here, with Yogananda, and Jesus, and Babaji, and Lahiri, and Yukteswar, and of course Swami Kriyananda, who started Ananda. So those are, and also of course St. Francis, and the Divine Mother images. All these things are ways for God to come to us and for us to attune to them, and just being, spending thoughtful moments in meditation. So through meditation, we're able to develop discrimination and intuition and attunement, and these are the kind of the biggies. And also the willingness to serve. And because when you serve, you really get out of the way if you're doing it with the right attitude, and you recognize this, I am just a channel. I'm just here to serve, I'm here to help, I'm here to share, I'm here to support, whatever it is. That's why we have the four kind of channels of yoga, of Raja Yoga. You have Karma Yoga service, and you have asanas, the Hatha Yoga, and then you have the Jnana Yoga, which is the wisdom and the teachings, and then you have the Bhakti Yoga, which is the devotion and the chanting. And so all these paths, some people are drawn to one, and some are drawn to all, and it's just whatever stirs you. Some people are drawn to climb up a mountain and feel that wondrous presence, that effluence, the last word you said in the reading, it's beautiful, that spark. So we all, I don't like to use the word should, but I think it's our mission, our dharma, to become sparks of that infinite consciousness in whatever way we can. And we're also different, like in the little Kathy, the bird. The bird didn't know. He thought it was kind of, his ego was kind of in the way. And anyway, I have to tell a story about that. And maybe, yeah, we'll see if we have time for the other story. But we used to sing these songs and in the first groups, and we'd act them out. And so there would be somebody who would like to dance, who would be playing little Kathy and guitar player, and the other people singing the harmonies or just the chorus. And in this case, many of you know Ram. Ram's a big, tall, black man, and he was chosen to be the bird, the little robin in the tree. And I have to tell you, he's such a good actor that he would be, for a timid and tiny. You actually started to feel really sorry for this tiny little bird, when in reality he's this huge man. So I always think of Ram as the robin when I sing this song. So the last thing that I wanted to read to you is another writing of Swami Kriyananda. It's from a tribute to my guru. The wonderful thing about a great master is that he comes to show us who we really are. In his presence, suddenly you begin to think, I'm not all that bad after all. Don't preen yourself. If you do, you've still got a few more lessons to learn, which is okay. It takes time for everybody. But the truth is, there should be great humility in the realization that this power isn't yours. It's something that can be given through you, something that you can tune into and become. But as long as you're thinking it's your ego, then you're limited. It won't work. Be humble. Be little before God, but don't belittle yourself. Always feel that inside there's that germ of divinity, which is your reality. That germ is waiting to sprout and become a tree. and eventually it will become a great oak tree, spreading its shade over many people. It's like a banyan tree growing into a whole forest. Whatever simile you use, remember that it's the divine power that will enable you to do that. The greatest thing that Yogananda came to bring was that power, which is silent but very active in people's lives. He won't be able to touch others unless it's through those who are in tune with him. This power would die if there were no disciples. If he had just been somebody who lived and wrote a few books, in a generation his mission would no longer have any life. We have to carry forward that spark ourselves, and in that way, it will reach out and touch others. Okay, we'll now have our offertory.